जी स्टार्ट
ॐ सहनाववतु सहनौ पुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः वासुदेवेन्द्रयोगीन्द्रम् नत्वा ज्ञानप्रदं गुरुम् मुमुक्षूणां हितार्थाय तत्त्वबोधोऽभिधीयते नित्यं शुद्धं निराभासं निराकारं निरञ्जनं नित्यबोधं चिदानन्दं गुरुं ब्रह्म नमाम्यहम्
सच्चिदानंद स्वरूपः सन् यः तिष्ठति स आत्मा सत् चित् आनंद स्वरूपः whatever is there as sat chit and ananda in nature, whatever has the nature of sat chit ananda, that is atma. Now yesterday we started seeing this, each one by themselves. What is Sat? To understand this, always remember in Vedanta, there are two experiences that are referred to, which everyone is going through as a human being, in particular, since the knowledge is applicable to us. What are the two experiences? One experience is sensory, sense generated, sensory generated, just a sense experience. It can also be memories, because memories are also nothing but sense generated perceptions. Other than the sense generated experience is the experience of one's own existence, existential experience. एक है इंद्रियों का अनुभव, एक है स्वात्म अनुभव, one's own being there, swa atma, one's own existence, mera hona, that I am there is a non-negatable, ever present, non-negatable, ever present experience. So two experiences are there for every human being. Repeating myself, one is an experience born from sense contact. इंद्रियां जब अपने विषयों से मिलती हैं, when eyes meet their color, form, there is a perception, there is an experience of an object. Eyes have seen something, ears have heard something, have heard something. These are sensory experiences, which is ever there in the waking state. This sensory experience is also the cause of one's dream state, because you saw the definition of the dream. One's own impressions surface and they are there as dreams, vasnaya. Those, where did they come from? They were your past accumulated. Now we saw yesterday, this moment backwards, anything is called bhuta, past, accumulated sense experience, This experience is constantly there, but this gets negated in sleep. You don't have any sensory vyavhar, any sensory interaction when you fall into sleep. When you are sleeping, there is no sensory experience. But when you wake up and you said, I slept, that means there was an experience of sleep that you had, which must have been free of all this sensory experience. Because you did not have the sensory experience in sleep. This much I think we are all clear on. Sensory experience is one experience. The other experience that one has is Swa-Atma Anubhava. The Anubhav, the experience of one's own being Atma. This is also there. Where is it noticed? It is noticed when this sensory experience comes and goes. So you wake up and there is a sensory world you are interacting in, and we are very active now with a sense of individuality, and there is oftentimes and more oftentimes there is assertion of the sense of individuality, and all this is contributing to a very great, as if it is so real. It is a sense of reality that it emphasizes. But what is Sat? Sat is that which remains unnegatable in all three periods of time. Past, present, future. Means change is not there. Now the minute you identify with an experience which is ever changing, change implies time. Because unless and until it was born, it started, you cannot say there is an experience started. Started word itself is, I did not have it before, I have it now. That itself, the word itself is indicative of the fact that something has not been there before and it started now. My joy of ice cream. The joy of ice cream was not there before I had the ice cream. And the minute I had the first lick of it, there was joy, time-based experience. It has become an experience in time. And time cannot be independent of space. So there was a coordinate of space and time which got involved, in which there is this me, I, who is experiencing the senses. I feel that. I enjoyed my ice cream. So I am the one who is becoming the enjoyer. I was the one who was experiencing that I need an ice cream. And so my senses gravitated. I made them go, my hands and everything, ordered, whatever you did, the whole experience was created, born. The minute my ice cream last bit finished, experience gone. Now entire waking world has me, the experiencer, identified with my sensory experiences. I'm identified with the senses, I'm identified with my thoughts, I'm identified with this external layer. What Shastra just finished saying as Panchakoshas. I'm identified, and without that, I seem to have no identity. I don't recognize it. Shastra says, this is not true. When you look at your own self in your statement, when you said, I slept well, or I did not sleep well, which sensory experience was there to confirm that experience of I am sleep? I slept. I'm sleeping is not an experience. I slept. Which sense was involved there to say, I can see that I had slept well, I could hear that I have slept well, etc. There seems to be another experience which is there, which doesn't come to my recognition because I don't seem to think that it contributes to my existence or my value for happiness that I am searching now. Mark the words. Why am I missing on that Swa-Atma Anubhav? Because somewhere in my thinking, I do not see it as contributory towards my search for happiness, towards my search for fulfillment, towards my search for becoming something, for being someone, for doing something. I don't see that existence has any contribution to it because it is already there and it doesn't seem to have given me that what I want. Isn't it? Because if I knew that it is there and it is giving me, then my search should have ended. But I don't seem to be ending my search for my completion, for my fulfillment, or something more I want from my life. I may not have the vision of absolute moksha, but कुछ तो और मुझे जीवन में चाहिए जो मेरी जीवन को प्रवृत्ति में रखता है. It keeps the ball rolling in my life, what I call as life. This Swa-Atma Anubhav doesn't seem to be there, available to us. Shastra says that is your error in thinking. So what you think is only there in sleep. That also when we are pointed to. Otherwise sleep is not a examined experience. We don't examine that experience. Whether I was there or not, nobody bothers. I need sleep. That's all I think. I need a good, peaceful sleep. I need a good mattress to sleep on. I need my comfortable pillow to sleep on. Sleep is something that we take completely for granted. But through Vidya, we begin to understand that that experience of sleep, what we call sleep, is a very worthy of examination. We need to examine it. That Swatma Anubhava was there. Was, I'm saying, because the context still is sleep. This Swatma Anubhava was there in sleep few hours before. Has it disappeared on waking up is the question. That what said I slept, has that disappeared when I woke up? The one who understands this, that what was there in sleep, which told me I have slept well without any sense engagement, I knew of an experience of myself being peaceful. I am peaceful in sleep. In sleep, there is no memory of it, there is no recollection of it, there is no word to say it because, I don't know if any one of you will get it, because there is no other there perceived in my sleep. The other is perceived only on waking up. I am perceived as this body, this mind, this intellect, this thinking, feeling, wanting person. I am now perceived here in the waking state. This is the other. To the one in sleep that is experiencing the peace of sleep, what we call sleep, and that sleep is actually nothing but absence of indriya anubhav. बस इंद्रिय अनुभव नहीं है वहां पे. जहां इंद्रिय अनुभव नहीं है उसको हमने निद्रा अनुभूयते कहा on waking up. Nidra is a word describing an experience that I had past. Nobody says, I am sleeping. I am is never used with sleeping. I slept. I will go to sleep. But I am sleeping is not an experience for anyone. I am dead. Do we say that? We only say that when we say I'm dead, tired, metaphorically. I'm so dead tired now. But I don't mean it literally because it is not my experience. Just be very careful about that. What I am saying I slept was a present experience, was experience in now. But not the now that you experience I'm waking. It is an experience in itself. That piece of sleep is an experience in itself. The question that any thinker would ask is, has it got disappeared during dream and waking? Just as the sensory world disappeared in sleep, has that piece by nature disappears in waking? Does the piece of sleep by nature disappear in waking? Shastra says, no. Kalatraya api tishtati. What transcends time, what is free of time, the experience which is free of time, which doesn't engage the coordinates of time and space, and actually causation also. But here time and space. What that experience which doesn't engage itself in time and space coordinates, that is your experience of Sat, pure existence. It is that which remains in free of any condition of time. That means when I was asleep, the peace of my experience of peace, if it is free of time, should it be there now or not in waking? Yes, correct. It has to be there now also. But why am I in search of it then? My whole waking time has gone in searching more Shanti. My whole waking life is going away in trying to get more Shanti, trying to be more peaceful, trying to get more happiness, trying to remove the disturbance, trying to remove the agitation, trying to quieten my mind, trying to relax, get away of the stress, anxiety. Sara kuch our whole waking life is busy around these things. If that peace is still there, then why am I not in recognition of it or in contact with it, or why am I not with it like I am in sleep, in that experience called sleep? Why do I seem to not have it now, and not only not have it now, I seem to be in a chase for it. I want it so desperately now. I want to become better me. I want to do better in life. I want to become something. I want to grow more. I want to avoid pain. I want to avoid sorrow, suffering. I want to be more comfortable. What is all this? ये सब क्या चल रहा है? What is my whole gati in life for? If I'm already a peaceful person, and that according to Shastra, that Swatma Anubhav is there now, then why is it that I am in desperation for it? Why is it that I am seeking it? Why is it that I am not satisfied or happy with the way life is moving? As is. Why is that sense of just being content with my peace not adequate? not only not adequate, it is considered to be not acceptable. It is not acceptable. That's it. Period. There's no discussion on it. It's just not acceptable the way I am now. I need to be better. I need to do more. This Swatma Anubhav is there now, but somehow what has come in between that recognition is, can any one of you point out?
Indriya.
Absolutely. Very good. What seems to have got in between is me associated with the Indriya Anubhav, with the sensory experience. मेरा जो ये मैं है, उसको मेरे इंद्रियों के साथ जुड़ा हुआ सुख को ही सिर्फ सुख मानना. This is called अज्ञान. यही अज्ञान है, क्योंकि मेरे जब तक हम जुड़े हुए हैं इस इंद्रिय के एक्सक्यूज मी, इस इंद्रिय के जो सुख है, जब तक हम इनके साथ जुड़े हैं, इंद्रिय सुख began with the ice cream, it ends with ice cream. The minute ice cream ended, indriya sukh ended. Now I am feeling vacuum again. Now I am feeling unhappy again. Now I am feeling depressed again. Now I want some excitement in life. Now I want some change in life. Because I am hoping the change will bring something better. We always say that every new year is a big dilemma because every new year, 1st of January, seems to be so important for everybody because they are hopeful that this year will be better than last year. What a big delusion is that? Just a change of a date, calendar बदला है, वो तो रोज बदल रहा है. If 365 days of your life of the previous year went the way they went, just because the calendar changed today, you hope that this year will go better. It can happen every day. So, इंद्रिय जो जन्य सुख की प्राप्ति की जो एक इच्छा रहती है या जो एक restlessness रहती है, there is this constant, like I said yesterday, going on at the back, the tanpura goes on. I want more, I want more, I want more, I want more. And any cause of making me feel small or less or unhappy, that attribution of that cause is always outside of me. Shastra says, if you can grow in your thinking, that's all the growth needed. If you can grow in your thinking and start attributing the cause only to your lack of right understanding. What is that right understanding? That this Atma, Swa-Atma Anubhav is there now, here. But what is preventing me from recognizing it is not this dukh that has been born, but is because I was looking at the previous indriya sukh as sukh, not recognizing the sukh is actually Atma Swarup. So Sat is Kalatrayapi Tishtati. My existence hasn't changed in the 3 periods of time, which means as a child, as a grown-up, as an old person, at any point in time, whatever will be an experience in time will only be Indriya Janat, is only attached to is only born from my ignorance of recognition of that Swa-Atma Anubhav. When I'm not recognizing that, my identity is attached with these fleeting joys. And because they are fleeting, they keep me wanting. Make note of this. Because the joys are fleeting, I'm sure most of you already know it and appreciate it yourself. Because the joys are fleeting, they keep me wanting. And because I'm wanting, there is this, the river as it comes down starts with trickles from the glaciers. Starts as trickles of streams. small streams from the glacier melting, and by the time they're coming to plains, it's a huge force of river. Those trickles have got together. Visualize this. The trickles that are coming like that from glaciers, drop by drop. If you see the photograph of Gangotri, Gomukh, that photograph, the last point of Gomukh, where you only see the drops, you can't go inside because you just don't know where the glacier starts from, but which is the first point where you contact, which is approachable. Beyond that, it's not approachable. Where you can approach it, it's drop by drop, what is said. River, of course, starts before. But where you can approach it also, you can see a thin stream, and you cannot imagine this is the same stream which is going to be the flow which goes and meets in Bay of Bengal. That flow, how did it start? Drop by drop. That whole flow is far more difficult to stop at plains than it is to stop at its origin. To stop it at plains, you need a dam. To reduce its flow, you need a dam. To collect it at some point, you need much more than just saying that I can stop it. My sense of identity today as a person is that flow of water in plains. It's a huge experience by experience added, idea by idea added, and that I am a wanting person, and because I'm a wanting person, I seek something, I get, I don't get, then again I'm a wanting person. This flow has become so fast and so thick now that I just don't seem to be recognizing the bed or the starting point of the flow. I don't seem to recognize that this Atma Anubhav, if it was not there at all, can I be cognizant of this Indriya Sukh which comes and goes? If Atma Anubhav was not there as changeless experience, if it was not changeless, will I register the changing, wanting happiness? If there are two changing things simultaneously, can you register them in the same way? If one is changeless and the other is changing, will you register it? What is the changeless experience in the light of which you are recognizing these changing experiences? That changeless existence is not inert. That changeless existence is not like a piece of rock. It's not inert matter. Because in that changeless experience, there is Swatma Anubhuti. There is a self-cognition. There is a self-recognition. There is a self-illumination. It is self-illumining. It is chit, of the nature of pure knowledge. So if existence was without any chit, when I see a piece of rock and I see a dead body, what is the difference between the two? And just few minutes before the person was still in the body, what was my value of the body? Just few minutes before. Why do I value this body so much? Why am I saying that life is so precious? Why do human beings feel life is so precious? Not only human beings, animals feel that for their families also. They feel it much more than what humans can feel, probably. Why is life so dear to us? How is it different from matter? And this is where science and Vedanta divert. For science, this consciousness is a product of matter. You were born according to them, fetus came and then started showing signs of life. For Vedanta and Vedic Parampara, life doesn't start from inert. Inert cannot bring life. It cannot give you the sense of knowledge and illumination of knowledge. Illumination means knowledge. I'll replace these words. Inert things cannot produce Chaitanyam. There is a Jad Chaitanyam Viveka here. Because, simple reason, if Jadavastu could create Chaitanyam, then my hair fallen on the ground, Jadavastu, my nails cut, Jadavastu, or any Jadavastu. Chaitanyam has to be associated with, not has to be, is associated with Sat. Sat means ever existence. This ever existence, if it is in the form of inertness, it can never have a Swatma Anubhuti. A rock doesn't know itself by itself. Mass doesn't know itself by itself. This body cannot know itself by itself. In that plane, they are all the same. Made up of matter, correct. Science is right. But this inert has produced Chaitanya? No. Because unless until Sat was there, which was of the nature of Chit, this change could not have been known. Sat must be of the nature of knowing. Sat is Jnana Swarup. Uska Swarup hai knowledge. Means whatever falls in Sat, associated with Chit, means Sat is Chit, Chit is Sat, reveals itself. So the rock doesn't know me because rock is not expressing itself as Chit, it expresses itself as Sat, existence. For a long time you have these forests somewhere, I think I read. How many thousands of years old, still there trees? Yes, correct. But who knows who? The tree doesn't know me, but I know the tree. The rock doesn't know me, I know the rock. Moon doesn't know me, I know the moon. So this Sat existence is of the nature of Chit, Jnana Swarup, ever knowing, and they cannot be separated, and these are lakshanas of Atma. That means here and now, if I have to do a viveka, I can't do viveka in sleep because my faculties are not there. I am there, but my faculty to discern is not there in sleep. I am here now, and the faculty is here now. The faculty to discern is here now. So where can I do the discernment? Here. And what is the discernment? That this changing experience, the Indriya Sukha, Indriya Anubhava, which I am constantly identified with, is nothing but what Shastra said is completely, that me associated with it is what is called as an Atma. It is only known. It has become a knowable experience because there is a knower of it. That knower is Chit Swarupa, Jnana Swarupa. Ever the knower. It never, ever, knowing is light, and you, even in sleep, what is on, that we often say it as pilot light. There is this pilot light of knowledge still on. That is why you knew you slept well. Something which doesn't diminish. Now if you know what you're hearing words, you're seeing forms, you're contact, all this is a knowable experience and therefore it is Jad. All of it is Jad. What is that one Chaitanya? That Chaitanya, in the presence of which all this gets known, whatever falls in the category of known is an Atma. And whatever is an Atma means it's transient. It's fleeting. It's not real. And this existence, pure existence and pure knowledge, principle of knowing, has to be also of the nature of Sukh, Anandakaha, Sukh Swarupa. It is something that is always agreeable. Ananda and Sukh actually are almost same words. Nanda, if you take the root of the word Nanda, Nanda means something joy deti. Nandati, Nandati, Nandati eva. Constantly keeps you, it's always of the nature of joy. Ananda means has come. Ananda. The joy is always there. Unless and until my sleep, which is always been, peace is something that I have always yearned for. Whatever will be Sat, will be Chit, and that Chit is also has to be agreeable to me. Sat and Chit must be an agreeable experience, something I want back, to fall back into. Because if it's not an agreeable experience, that means it will change again. Because only thing that I want is constant sukh, happiness, absolute happiness. So if the nature of Sat and Chit is not Anandam, then I will not want it. Because I see that there is something which I yearn constantly towards, it has to be its Swarup, which means my Swarup. I yearn for it because I feel I have lost it. I don't know how my words are sounding today. Yeah? Okay. I feel I have lost it. Why? I can only say this from the standpoint of Vedanta. From my standpoint of an ignorant person, I think this is real. I need happiness. If I'm happy, my happiness is real. If I'm unhappy, my unhappiness is real. And that is why any person who gets Vedanta thoroughly always understands, whoever says I'm depressed, I'm sad, a person of Vedanta just keeps quiet. I think it's the only possible response to anything like this, because education is not possible at such moments of time. The only thing that can make you free of such things is right knowledge. And that's the state of mind where right knowledge is not appreciated. Bhashan mat dena humko. Lecture mat do humko. When you are trying to console someone who's unhappy and you start saying, listen, this is not your nature, how do you get the bhashan back? But it's a true, that sense of reality is so real in that moment of unhappiness. Why? You don't want it. You're so sure you don't want it. Sense of reality ko touch karo. If any time that I have been unhappy, how much force was there in me to change the state of unhappiness to becoming happy again? And when I am happy, how much effort is there, or state is there, or wish is there, or hope is there that it lasts forever? That it should not end. This ananda that we Shastra here in this context says ananda, in the Upanishad it says ananta, endless, is nothing but yourself being whole, full, poonam. Sat is chit and chit is complete. There is no lack in me. I'm not a wanting person. The I that we were referring to yesterday, this I is only an indicating pointer to its nature, because you see that that nature of I has remained in every experience changelessly there. And because I is there, I know the experience and I am constantly in search of my fullness is the kosha, but my swarup, the minute I have happiness, even temporarily when I have indriya sukh, I just think this is going to be eternal. It's not going to change. My happiness, I don't want it to end. And my unhappiness, I do not want it for a minute, for a millisecond. I need to change the state. I need to change my statement is state. Don't know if you get this. That statement that I'm unhappy, I need to change it as the state. I need to change that state so that I can say I'm happy again. That ananda is a lakshana. If your own swarupa, I by nature, if you think you are not complete, you are associated, identified with the indriya, and you want to complete yourself so that you can now rest in peace forever. But if your nature is sukh itself, then every sukh that you are experiencing in the form of indriya is only a reflection of that sukh in it. It's not a real sukh. Because ananda itself means its nature is sukh. If its nature was not sukh, when your indriyas had gone, sleep should have been most undesirable. Indriya sukhi agar sukh hota, the sleep should have been very undesirable, not agreeable to me. I will not want to go to sleep. But all of us have one agreeable experience. We look forward to sleep. We look forward to the peace in sleep that we associate as sleep. So what are these three? These three are just pointers, lakshanas. They're lakshana if one looks into, like I said yesterday, look this way. If you constantly discern between which is the changing experience and where in the changing experience is it noticed. That is why Ramana says again in Upadesha Sar, if you start tracing back the I thought and see its origin, what is I thought? Aham pratyaya, I. If you start noticing it backwards, it falls into that cognition of I. It will fall into anybody? It will fall into
Kosha.
sorry?
Kosha, I think.
The I will fall into kosha as we know it, but if you trace its origin, yes. If you trace its origin, Tat,
Atma.
chit,
Yeah.
ananda, Atma. Because I as a perception of this is a kosha, but I is not a kosha. I is मैं हूँ. Yesterday, as I started by saying, yesterday and today's class should kind of go together. मैं हूँ. Who told me? I know it. My being there as me, in which I have the perception of I am this, in associated with my body, mind and thoughts. But mera hona is not a perception, is knowledge. It is chit, swarup. So, ananda kaha is sukh swarupaha, and all these are pointers. Evam satchidananda swarupam swa atmanam vijaniyat. Vijaniyat means know yourself. Know. You should. You should know. It's a command. May you know. is the actual. May you know yourself. Swa Atmanam. May you know your real experience. Swa Atma. Swa Apna. We say Swa Abhiman, which becomes Swabhiman. अभिमान उसमें स्व लगा दो तो स्वाभिमान हो गया, जुड़ के और जुड़ गया स्वाभिमान. आई एम अ वेरी स्वाभिमानी पर्सन. नॉट रॉन्ग, बट स्वदेश, देश is place, swadesh becomes my place. That swa means that swa atmanam. Even in this manner, Satchidananda Swarupam Swa Atmanam Vijaniyat. In which manner? One. In which manner? Atma Kaha. Know yourself to be Sthula Sukshma Karana Sharirat Vyatirikta. Three of these three bodies. Panchakosha Atitaha San. Remaining free of the five koshas. Avasthatraya Sakshi. As the Sakshi of the three avasthas. And that Sakshi is the Chit Swarupa. Sakshi, know it as ever there. Sat, Chit, Ananda Swarupa. The one who knows himself as that, himself, itself, herself, whichever self, knows self as that, that is Atma. So all negation brings you to the pointer of Satchitananda. That is the methodology that is adopted in Vedanta. What is in my perception is a negatable perception, is an erroneous perception, is not a real thing. Appearing real, yes, but that appearing real component comes from the real, which also is an experience. And that is Sat, Chit and Ananda. So with this portion gets completed. And if you have any question, we can take up now, or you can send me a mail. We'll take it up next time. I will give you some sort of a small assignment just to go over, as I said yesterday. And next weekend, Saturday, Sunday, we will not have a class. We will try and complete whatever you can. The idea is consolidated. If necessary, we can have a revision at some point of time if needed. But how many of you need time for going over it? Yeah, okay. So we will keep it. I think we'll not have the class. Very good. Very good. So we'll not have a class next weekend. And finish this because next topic is all now different. Now it's going to go into macrocosm. It will start with Srishti Prakriya. So it will be Maya and again Panchabhutas and how they are formed. So it will become a completely different orientation. And as you move forward, if you don't consolidate this, it will get lost very soon. So much time spent on these may not be able to bring it back. So it's much better to kind of anchor simultaneously as much as you can. So with this, Hanji, आप conclude करेंगे please.
Om
सर्वेषां स्वस्ति
Bhavatu
सर्वेषां शान्तिर्भवतु सर्वेषां पूर्णं भवतु
Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu Sarve Bhavantu
सुखिनः
Sarve
सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः
Sarve Bhadrani
भद्राणि पश्यन्तु
मा
मा
कश्चित्
कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत्।
ॐ स्वस्ति
स्वस्ति प्रजाभ्यां
प्रजापतिपालयन्तां
परिपालयन्ताम्
न्यायेन
न्यायेन मार्गेण महीं महिषा
गोब्राह्मणेभ्यः
गोब्राह्मणेभ्यः
शुभमस्तु
शुभमस्तु
नित्यं
नित्यम्
लोकाः
लोकाः समस्ताः सुखिनो
भवन्तु
भवन्तु
काले
काले वर्षतु पर्जन्यः
पृथ्वी
पृथिवी
शालिनी
सस्यशालिनी
एषो
देशोऽयं शोभरहितः
ब्रह्मणा सन्तु निर्भया
निर्भयाः
ॐ शान्ति
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 शान्ति शान्तिः
Thank you, everyone.